Leader, today I'd like to raise the issue the difficulties facing more than 20,000 people in Ireland living with type 1 diabetes and the COVID pandemic. And the latest data from across the globe shows the HSE advice states that those with diabetes face far worse outcomes if they're to contract COVID-19. And indeed, the HSE also advises diabetes patients to avoid visiting hospitals, avoid visiting GP care at all times where they can do it. But yet the same agency is dragging their feet when it comes to the best-in-class care for these patients. And to date, officials have spent 2 years reviewing the addition of flask glucose monitoring on the long-term illness scheme for people over the age of 21. And FCG is cutting-edge technology that allows for doctors to remotely monitor diabetes patients instead of forcing them to visit their surgeries or do finger prick tests or use outmoded 1980s technology to ascertain their condition. And while the health arguments are clear at this time, the fact is clear that other products on the market that patients advise me are at least €1,000 a year cheaper. It makes no sense at all to continue to exclude them from the long-term illness scheme, especially at a time when the HSE budget is spiralling and patients tell me that they have a strong preference for FMG sensors instead of being forced to apply for the more expensive CGM sensors. 6 months ago, in its submission to the Oireachtas Special Committee on COVID, Diabetes Ireland specifically recommended the HSE develop a virtual clinic consultation for service users with diabetes type 1 and extend access to the FGM monitoring devices to all people with type 1 diabetes who have very complex needs. And with several outbreaks of COVID-19 in hospitals in recent weeks, there is an acute need to keep vulnerable patients with chronic illnesses, including diabetes, out of our hospitals unless absolutely necessary. Therefore, I would really appreciate if the Minister for Health could come to this House, inform us what steps he and his department and the HSE are taking to help diabetes patients in Ireland monitor their illness, keep them from requiring hospital care at a time of what is great strain on the health service.
Thank you very much, Senator McGahon. And that's an exemplar of how to get a lot said in 2 minutes. On the button, just on the button. That is an absolute exemplar. We'll have to show that on video again.